Jules, and welcome back to my YouTube channel. So, I've wrestled with how I should do this video because I'm honestly tired. I'm tired of watching the damn movies and writing something to say about them. So I'm gonna try a new thing where I do it from memory, which will be very shitty because I do not have the greatest memory. I will just watch something and completely forget it. So the movie that we're gonna do today is called The Joy Luck Club. Now, this is a 1993 movie based on a 1989 novel by Amy Tan, and it focuses on the life and times of four Chinese immigrant families who start up a club called The Joy Luck Club while playing mahjong. Now, it got me thinking, if this was a Korean family, it would be squid. I made a funny, I broke the fourth wall. Is that a funny? Meta. Yeah, that's meta. I did that. If it was a Japanese family, the game would be Karuta. And if it was a Jamaican family, like one with Medina, it would have been Luri or Domino. The characters are Su-yan and Jun-woo, Lindo and Waverly Jung, Ying-ying St. Clair and Lena St. Clair, An-mei and Rose Hesu. Like I said before, this is just going by memory. I wrote a script for it, but I just can't. But now I get the vibes of what I want to say. So I'm just gonna go, as I said before, by memory. Alright, so we start off with Road. No, we start. I tell you, I'm so bad at this. So we start off with June, who is at a family gathering, and so everybody just normally gather together, have a good time, and live their best life. So June has to take the place of her mother at the mahjong table because her mother is no longer there, and mahjong is a four-person game, so somebody has to take her place. So she does that, and the aunties, they're there talking to her, and they're there telling her that you're so much like your mother, yada 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 yada. And then we go on to June narrating certain events in her life. She narrates that when she was younger, she was a piano prodigy. She never practiced or anything, but her piano teacher called her Beethoven. Then again, the man was deaf, so take that as you will. And her mother always felt like June could do anything that she wanted to do, but June had low self-esteem. So one day she's at a talent competition at school, and she's there playing the piano. She looks in the audience and she sees her mother's best friend and arch enemy, as well as her arch enemy, her mother's best friend's daughter, Waverly. And she's there, and then she starts to feel self-conscious. She misses a tune on the piano, and then this starts to hamper her self-esteem and dampens it even further. And she realizes that, hey, I'm not as talented as I actually think I am. And so she promises herself to never play again. Her mother goes home and tells her, you need to practice. And she's like, no, you can't force me to do it. You cannot force me to do it. And I don't want to do it. In fact, you're ruining my life. And I wish I was like the babies in China. Dead. Wow. Cold. June. Cold. Then we cut some scene, and then we have the point of view of Lindo. Now, Lindo, when she was a young child, she saw her mother talking to a matchmaker for a wealthy family, and they wanted to marry Lindo to their son. Their son is an asshole. So Lindo's mother, when she's 15, she decided, hey, you're no longer my daughter, you are now my daughter-in-law. And when she's 15, she kicked her to the curb and sent her to the family. So whilst there, Linda realizes that, hey, these people are shit, and I need to get out of here as fast as I can. So she watched the run-ins of the house, and eventually she decides that, hey, I know what I'm gonna do. So at one point she was observing, and she saw a servant girl talking to a servant boy that she was pregnant, and the man had denied the child like a true bastard. Then she decides, yeah, this is how I'm going to put my plan in action. She tells the family that, hey, I don't want to leave. I really like it here, and the ancestors know that I like it here, but there's some I have to leave. And she said 3 things will happen if she doesn't go. First, the husband will die because he has something on his back that the ancestor had on his face. A mole. Apparently, back then, they didn't know what moles were. So according to them, it was sucking out the life energy out of them. Then she also said she was going to get rotten teeth, which was a lie. June did get rotten teeth from a long time. She did lose her teeth when she was younger. And then the third one is that the ancestor, Bossa God, and made the servant girl get pregnant like Mary, and she became the spiritual wife of the son. So everybody get what they want. Linda get some money and get for leave. And the family get what them they always want, one child. Then we cut to Waverly. She and her mother are at a salon, and they're talking. Waverly is telling her that she wants her to change her hairstyle Mother is like, why? You're not proud of me, you're not happy? And she's like, no, you just need a change. And then Waverly starts to remember her childhood with her mother. She remembers that she was a chess champion and her mother used to brag about her all the time, go around telling everybody that she's the one that helped her to become the prodigy that she is and so on. And Waverly get tired of it and she decides, hey, she'll go run away. So she runs away and don't come back home until another night. And the mother is like, we don't care. If you don't care about we don't care about you. And so Waverly decided that just like June, she was going to stop playing chess. And then one day, months after, decided that, Mommy, I want to play chess again. And her mother's like, the hard way, never listen when me did I say. Just like Itana. And she tell her that you're going to find that it's not easy to do this. And the mother was right. It's no longer easy. There's this part where she was beaten by this guy who she had beaten before. Now, we cut to the adult Waverly talking that she did everything to please her mother. She married a Chinese man. She had a granddaughter for her. She just did everything, and then it still wasn't enough. Eventually divorced her husband, and there was this new guy, this white guy, and her mother, according to her, faults him with everything. And she said, no, enough is enough. Why you don't like him? And the mother said, I don't like him. If I never like him, you would know I don't like him. I'm just pointing out the things that he does. And they start chuckling. Ha 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 ha. Then we have Ying-ying St. Clair. Now Ying-ying was this beautiful girl back in ancient China. I keep saying ancient China whenever I'm talking about the mothers, and I don't know why. So Ying-ying was this beautiful girl, and how Ying-ying's story goes is that she met this man, this very bad man. So she met this man back in ancient China, and he was an asshole, very abrasive, uncouth. In one scene, he's there cutting a watermelon with a knife. Then he takes his hand and digs into the watermelon, taking it out and then eating it and playing with it with his tongue, simulating cunnilingus. The entire thing was simulating sex anyways. Ying-ying is there, and she's there giggling, and some girls are beside her. In the movie, it didn't say who the girls were, but I think in the book it said that they were her sisters. So in the next scene, I think they go to this party and they're there dancing on the dance floor, and Ying-ying is looking at him like a dry peas want corn. Technically, dry peas want water. That's how she was looking at him, still thirsty. And then at the end of the dance, at the end of the party, the two of them are there dugu-dugging on the dance floor. Dogs. We cut to the scene where Ying-ying is married to the man, and the man never changes. He's still an asshole. He cheats on her. He doesn't come home on time. When he does come home, he brings home his mistresses. And one day, Ying-ying Ed take her and she drowns their baby. And this really affects her because it kind of just sucked the life out of her. Eventually, she goes to America and she marries this white man. I think it was an Irishman she married, St. Clair. Whilst there, she has a daughter called Lena. Now, Lena takes after her mother in a lot of ways. They're both timid, both reserved. They don't talk for what they want, and then put up with them husband bullshit. Lena married this man called Harold, who was her boss, and when they just started their relationship, she decided that, hey, everything that we have, let's do it 50-50. And Harold took this thing to heart, because everything that they do, they share everything. Them share the dog fleas, they share the cost of ice cream, and Lena doesn't even eat ice cream, and so on. And Ying-ying is watching this, and she's like, I made a grave mistake when I had you. I had no fire in me. I had no will to do anything, and I'm sorry about that. But what I'm going to do is I'm going to put back the fire in you. I'm going to make you stand up for yourself and don't take nobody bullshit, because mama didn't raise no fool. Eventually Lena gets the strength to talk to her husband and tell him that she wants more than his respect. She actually wants his respect, because she thought he respected her. She wants his respect and she wants his love, and she's going to move out until he gives her that. He did not give her that, so she did with the next man like a good girl, because as one gone, another one born. Then the next scene we have is of An-mei. Now An-mei, she starts her narration by saying every day when she was a little girl, she always a wonder, not wonder, she always a think. And it shows a baby An-mei. She's about 3 years old when her mother comes to visit, and the family, they're cursing her and they're going back and forth. And then something happens. She gets burnt with some either soup or hot water. I'm more inclined to think it's soup. Again, this is based off memory because I don't remember anything. The reason for the cursing was that her mother had left and then she come back, and when she came back, everybody did disgusted by her because she came back as a woman, a concubine. Yeah, that's the word. Came back as a concubine married to this rich man. One day on her mother's deathbed, because she had to leave An-mei, and then one day on her mother's deathbed when An-mei was an adolescent or a teen, don't remember, she comes back and then she does the greatest sweetest gesture for her mother. She cuts herself and puts the blood in a bowl and gives it to her mother. I may try that for my own mother and see what she says. And her mother drinks it. This is the highest honor that a daughter can do for their mother. No, I'm really gonna try that with my mother. Auntie, I want to give you the highest honor that a daughter can do for her mother. When she don't tell me some, what's it not? So when she's leaving, An-mei decides that she's going to go with her, and the family members are there saying, no, if you take her, dishonor on you, dishonor on your family, dishonor on our whole cow. I think after that we had Rose doing her little narration, and she's talking about the first time she met Ted, her husband, or at the time it was her estranged husband, and they're on a date, and he doesn't stop talking. She says something to shut him up, and she's saying that everybody knows who you are, every girl has a crush on you. She's very opinionated, and Ted likes that, and he's very impressed. Although she says she's not doing it to impress him. Cut to some months after, he is bringing her to meet his family. They're some really wealthy-ass family. They're white people. That's so racist. His mother, while at the function, his mother is very racist and starts saying some things to her, saying, oh, we're very liberal. We voted for Obama and all of that. And then she's like, but not many people understand. Not many people understand the love that you guys have for each other. And she's like, we're not really getting married or anything like that. So I don't get what you're trying to say. And the mother's like, you're being silly. Anyways, he comes to defend Rose, and he tells his mother, all his life, this is the first time he's ever embarrassed of her. And he tells his mother that this is the woman he loves. During the honeymoon stage, Rose and Ted, they live their best life. And then Rose decides that, hey, she wants to be the best wife for Ted that she can be. And the best way to do that is to just shut up and let him do everything. I don't know who told her that. Yeah, so the best way to do that is to just shut up and let him do everything. This eventually puts a strain on their marriage. She decides that the best way to salvage their marriage is to have a child. Smart woman. Don't let anybody ever tell you otherwise. That's not the best way to salvage a marriage. Have a child. She has the child, and again, the marriage is still strained, and eventually he asks for a divorce. But I think before this, there's this thing, I think the straw that broke the camel's back was his practice. I don't remember. I think he's a lawyer. I think his practice was in some distress, and he was at home, and she came to him and asked him what he wants for dinner. He's like, what, you choose. And she's like, no, it's okay, you tell me what you want, I'll make it. And she's just there basically singing the Beyonce song, baby, let me cater to you, because this is your day, you're everything. He's like, girl, what you want to eat? And she's like, you're all I want in a man, something and another. I'll brush your finger, your teeth, your chocolate, everything. I don't remember that song, but you guys know Destiny's Child. He's like, it's okay, what do you want? And she still sing the song, and he's like, alright, done. That was the straw that broke the camel's back, and he divorced her ass. Well, the divorce was in filing. There's this part where Rose and her mother, An-mei, they go to the shop, and she buys some things, and she says she's gonna make pie because Ted is coming over so that they can discuss the divorce. So An-mei is like, so what's gonna happen after he eats a slice of the pie? Because he's not going to eat all of it. What's going to happen? And she's like, I'm gonna throw it away. And then An-mei is like, you need to know what you want. You need to know. You can't be wishy-washy like this anymore. What do you want? And we cut to a flashback with teenage An-mei meeting her mother's new family. And she meets first wife, who she describes as a ghost of a woman. And first wife has 2 daughters. Then she meets second wife, which is basically the empress of the house. She's the badass. Then third wife, who is always living in constant fear that she's gonna get kicked out. And then her mother, who is fourth wife. And she starts to observe how fourth wife, her mother, looks at second wife's son. This is when her wandering self started to wander again, and she wondered that she could wander no more. Second wife introduces herself to An-mei and gives her some pearls. She tells her to call her Big Mama and not give her the pearls back because her mother is there like, give it to her. Second wife, no, it is too much trouble. No, she's only a little girl. She don't deserve this. And second wife is like, let her stay with it. And fourth wife is going back and forth. Anyways, one day they're inside, and An-mei's mother, fourth wife, she says, give me the pearl. And An-mei's like, no, this is mine. Get your own. And then good girl just grab the pearl from her. In the movies, she uses a cup to crush the pearls. But in the books, she uses her feet. Why did I say feet like that? F-E-T-H. She uses her feet. Or in Jamaican terms, she uses her foot to crush the pearls, which is symbolism. But this is a fast review, and I can't bother to give the symbolism of what that means. So anyways, her mother monologues, and she says, don't get to be easily bought by cheap trinkets. You see how easily something head crush? Yeah, no bother with that. Girl, you're better than that. My daughter, first pearl thing with the pan. We don't want them cheap something here. And then she tells her, also, don't look at me or don't look down on me because I'm fourth wife. Once upon a time, I was first and only wife, your father's wife. And then later in the night, Wu Sing, that's the husband, he comes to the mother for the sex. You know the song just coming out with Vitamin X. Yeah. So he comes in the room for the sex and she tells him that her daughter is there and he's like, I don't care. You can either send her about or make sure watch, make sure know what's going on. Me not really partial. An-mei's mother, she sends her out. After the deed is done, the mother goes out and she looks for her and she sees An-mei and she's aware that An-mei knows what happened. So what happened is they met on a ship and the second wife and An-mei's mother, they had become acquaintances of sort. Wu Sing had seen her and he had liked her. So the two wives shared a room and Wu Sing came into the room after second wife left because this is all planned. So after second wife left, Wu Sing came into the room and he assaulted her. And then because at ancient China, you know, back then especially, something like this, you're not on a face for save. She had nothing better to do because when she went back home, rumors had already spread that she was a hoe and not the what kind of hoe. So she had nowhere else to go but to go back to Wu Sing. And then she was pregnant as well. Second wife took the baby, so she wasn't even able to hold her child. Eventually, the mother sided herself with food laced with opium. And at the funeral, An-mei took her brother's hand and promised that if all debts are not repaid to her mother, everybody are going to pay. Wu Sing decided that he's going to revere fourth wife as if she was first and only wife. And second wife basically turned Marie Antoinette. She started to get gray hair because An-mei decided, I think she had gotten back some pearls or the rest of the pearls, and she crushed the pearls in her hand, showing her that, hey, I'm not afraid of no. And anything me and my brother want, we're going to get it. Rose, in the next scene, asks her mother, what does this mean? And An-mei tells her that she was raised the Chinese way, to not want for anything, to kill your desires. But she's trying to raise her daughter to grow up, I guess the American way, because that's the opposite of what China would be considering the family dynamics. But she's telling her daughter basically, you know, don't get raised the Chinese way, don't be like that, want for things, don't be ashamed to ask for anything, know your worth. She basically had to like get up, stand up for your rights. Bob Marley. Anyways, the next scene we have Rose outside in the rain and Ted is there and he's saying, you know, I've been calling you all along. What happened? And she's like, get out of my house, Ted. And Ted is like, no, this is our house. Remember, the point of this meeting is so that we can divide up our dividends. She starts going on and on about how 60 years ago she died. She ate opium. I don't know what kind of position shit she was on. She basically pretends that she was our grandmother. She's there telling him that, you know, the divorce wasn't his fault. It was really her fault because she gave up on herself and she didn't trust herself to have opinions and so on and so forth. She admits that she used to be full of shit, like crap. In the next scene, we see Rose and Ted at the family gathering have reconciled their differences. Just start talking for yourself. And then we have the final story. June telling her story. And she says this story is really about her and her mother. She says that once upon a time, that's not how it started, but that's how I'm going to start. Once upon a time, she, while at some family dinner at home with Waverly, Lindo, and Lindo's husband, they're having dinner. They were having Chinese New Year and they had crabs. They're there talking and everything. And June says, some people believe that just because you and them are friend, that means say freebies. And Waverly is there saying, June, listen, I never want to tell you this, but the advertisement something you give me, it stink. It sucks. We don't want to use it. And she's like, you're lying. It was good. I was like, no, it wasn't. My company needs quality stuff, not shit stuff. This makes June feel bad because her mother actually agreed with Waverly. She's like, no, June is not like you. June is not sophisticated enough. And you know, and this makes June feel really bad. And then after dinner, June is in the kitchen and she's cleaning up. And her mother comes to help her. And her mother's like, what? Why are you mad at me? And she's like, I'm sorry I'm not sophisticated enough for you, like Waverly. Waverly, I'm sorry I can't do this, I can't please you. And the mother's like, what are you talking about? And she said, you were never proud of me, you're never proud of me, you never want, for Sima be great. My bad. She never actually said that, because she says to her that, I'm sorry that I'm a disappointment to you. And her mother says to her that she's never expected anything from her. She only hoped that she would be the best. And June tells her that her mother having hope in her, make her feel even worse because she can't live up to that hope. And her mother tells her that you are the best you that you can be. She said, during the dinner, everybody took the best crab. Everybody took the best crab leg. You were the one who took the worst one. And she's saying that I'm not faulting you for this. I'm basically saying that you think about people. You knew in yourself that this wasn't the best one, but you want others to have the best. And that is what I like about you. Them reconcile. Then we'll cut to the next scene. Back at the party, Lindo tells her the truth that she never told the girls that their mother had died. And she still expect June to go to China and go tell them. And June's like, no, I can't do it. You need to write to them and tell them, say, mommy dead. Me cannot do this. And she's like, it's too late, can't do it. You still have to go. And June's like, oh shit, Auntie Linda, why else I do them things here? She said, just tell her about your mother, tell her about the life and times of her. Just tell them, about her. Tell them how she lived her life and what it was like being her daughter. And she end up go home, pack her bags, and while she's packing her bags, her father's there helping her. And her father's like, I miss your mother. She always tell myself if something were to happen to her, this is where certain things are, and him never did a listen to her. Eventually, she pack up her something and she leaves to go to China. While fresh off the boat, she's there looking for her sisters, and then she sees them, and one of them looked dead stamp at the mother, probably because it was the mother. And she's there waving to them, and them run and everybody run out, hug up each other. She tells them the truth, and everybody is there happy and they hug. The end. That is my memorization of the Joy Luck Club. Now, the book and the movie differ certain ways because obviously the book is longer, but it differs certain ways that with little nuances. Like, for instance, the bead scene where An-mei's mother, fourth wife, uses a cup. We have in the book she used her feet. In the book, Rose has siblings. She had a young brother who passed away, and that was really impactful on her mother as well as the entire family. And we have so many other, there's this other one where the baby was born with half a brain or something. So yeah, the entire story is really beautiful, and the book obviously extended upon certain more themes and topics and other partiality. But again, that's my memorization of The Joy Luck Club by Amy Tan, and I hope you enjoyed it. I am working on a Japanese series, Ouroboros, and I really want to finish that. But that is 10 episodes, 1 hour each, which is 10 hours of my life that I will probably partially dedicate. So we'll see. If it don't work out, I may do it like this, where I just do a rough memorization of it. Bye! Also, don't forget to like and subscribe. I don't know why I said that. I feel like I have to. I do not read the rules and the guidelines of YouTube, so I'm just really following what I see people do. Bye!